Have you ever felt a little knot in your stomach when your partner said something, or when they acted in a way that didn't sit right with you? Maybe you brushed it off, telling yourself, "It's not a big deal. Everyone has flaws." But here's the truth. Those little knots, those tiny moments of unease, are often the first whispers of red flags. And if you learn to recognize them early, you can save yourself years of pain, confusion, and heartbreak. Today, we're going to dive deep into relationship red flags, what they are, how to recognize them, and most importantly, how to respond without losing yourself. This is not about being paranoid or nitpicky. It's about learning the difference between human imperfections and genuine warning signs that something isn't right. Stick with me until the end, because some of these alerts are subtle, almost invisible, yet they can completely change the course of your love life if you miss them. Before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Decode. Love is here to help you navigate the complex world of relationships, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's begin with a simple but powerful truth. Red flags rarely show up as big flashing signs. They don't announce themselves with sirens or neon lights. More often, they appear as tiny inconsistencies, little cracks in the surface of what seems like a perfect connection. And the earlier you spot them, the more control you'll have over your emotional safety. Take, for example, inconsistency between words and actions. Someone may tell you, "You're the most important person in my life," but then consistently cancel plans, avoid real commitment, or dismiss your needs. At first, it might look like they're just busy, stressed, or not good at communication. But inconsistency is one of the most fundamental alerts in any relationship. Why? Because trust is built on alignment. When someone's words don't match their behavior, you're left in a state of emotional confusion, wondering which version of them is real. That confusion isn't love. It's a warning. Another subtle red flag is the way someone reacts when you express your feelings. Imagine sharing something vulnerable like, "I felt hurt when you didn't call me back yesterday." A healthy partner will listen, acknowledge, and, even if they don't fully agree, respect your feelings. A toxic partner, however, might dismiss it with, "You're too sensitive," or flip it back on you. "You're always making drama." That's called invalidation, and over time it can eat away at your sense of self-worth. This isn't about one-off disagreements. It's about a consistent pattern of making you feel like your emotions are too much or not worthy of attention. If you start to shrink yourself just to keep the peace, that's a red flag. Now, let's talk about control. Control doesn't always look like dramatic outbursts or obvious jealousy. Sometimes it hides under the mask of care. "I just worry about you." "I don't want you to go out with those friends. They're a bad influence." Or, "Why didn't you tell me you were posting that photo?" "I should have a say. It affects me too." At first, these comments may seem protective or even flattering, but if you zoom out, you'll notice a pattern. Your independence slowly erodes, your decisions feel less like your own, and you begin to live in a cage disguised as love. Curiosity check. Have you ever ignored a red flag because it came packaged with affection? Many people confuse intensity for intimacy. The person who showers you with attention, texts non-stop, or wants to see you every single day might seem like the perfect partner at first. But ask yourself, do they respect your need for space, or do they become anxious and demanding when you pull back? Healthy love gives you room to breathe. Unhealthy love suffocates. Let's move to another common alert. Secrecy. Relationships thrive on transparency, not surveillance. There's a difference between respecting privacy and hiding things. If your partner guards their phone like it's a state secret, constantly changes their stories, or avoids introducing you to important people in their life, that's worth questioning. Sometimes secrecy indicates unresolved issues, or even dishonesty. What matters is whether the secrecy is consistent, unexplained, and paired with defensiveness when you ask. Here's an often overlooked red flag: how they talk about their past relationships. Pay attention not to the details, but to the tone. Do they describe all their exes as crazy, toxic, or psychos? If every failed relationship story places them as the victim and everyone else as the villain, ask yourself, what role are they leaving out? No one is perfect, and healthy people can acknowledge their own mistakes. If someone has zero accountability for their past, chances are they'll struggle to take responsibility in the present. But what if you're already emotionally invested? This is where it gets tricky. The deeper we fall for someone, the more our brain works to protect that connection, even if it's unhealthy. It's called cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of holding two truths at once. They're loving and sweet, and they just disrespected me. Instead of confronting the contradiction, many people resolve it by minimizing the red flag. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I'm just too sensitive. Recognize this thought pattern for what it is: your brain trying to protect your feelings, not your future. So how should you respond to a red flag without feeling like you're overreacting? First, trust your intuition. If something feels off, it usually is. That doesn't mean accusing your partner or jumping to conclusions. It means slowing down and observing the pattern. Ask yourself, is this a one-time mistake or a repeated behavior? Is my partner willing to acknowledge and work on it, or do they deny it and make me feel guilty for noticing? The answers will guide you. Healthy relationships aren't free of conflict or mistakes. They're built on repair. A partner who cares will listen, reflect, and take steps to improve. A partner who dismisses, manipulates, or flips the blame shows you who they are. Believe them. Let's look at a real example that illustrates this difference. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, you tell your partner, "I felt ignored when you spent all night on your phone during dinner." They respond with, "Oh wow, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry, I'll do better." They may not be perfect, but they care about your experience. In the second scenario, you get the reply, "You're ridiculous. I can't believe you're mad about something so small. Stop being dramatic." That response is a red flag, not because of the phone, but because of the refusal to validate your feelings. Now let's explore one of the most damaging but hard to spot alerts: isolation. Isolation rarely starts with, "You're not allowed to see your friends." Instead, it shows up as subtle pressure. "Why do you need them when you have me?" Or, "Your family doesn't really understand us, right?" Over time, these comments create distance between you and your support system, leaving you more dependent on your partner and easier to control. A healthy partner supports your connections. A toxic one tries to cut them off. And let's not forget financial red flags. Money is one of the biggest stressors in relationships. If your partner constantly borrows but never repays, hides debts, or pressures you into financial commitments before trust has been established, take note. Love does not erase accountability. You might be wondering, is it possible to have zero red flags in a relationship? The answer is no, because humans are imperfect. Everyone makes mistakes. The difference is whether those mistakes become patterns. whether they harm your emotional safety, and whether your partner takes responsibility for repair. A single argument isn't a red flag, but repeated dismissals, controlling behavior, or lack of accountability absolutely are. So, how do you protect yourself while staying open to love? The answer is balance. Stay aware without being cynical. Stay hopeful without ignoring the signs. Create a mental checklist. Do their words match their actions? Do they respect my boundaries? Do they make me feel safe expressing my feelings? Do they take accountability when they hurt me? Do they support my independence? If the answer is yes, you're likely on healthy ground. If the answer is no, or if you feel constant confusion, guilt, or fear, listen to that. Love should not leave you questioning your worth. And remember this: noticing a red flag is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of strength. Walking away from someone who isn't good for you doesn't mean you're unlovable. It means you're protecting your heart for the right connection. So the next time you feel that little knot in your stomach, pause. Don't brush it aside. Ask yourself what it's trying to tell you, because those whispers can save you from years of pain, if you're willing to listen. Thank you for watching Decode Love. If you found this episode valuable, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we're only just scratching the surface of what it means to build healthy, fulfilling relationships. And in the next video, we'll explore something equally fascinating: why people stay in toxic relationships even when they see the red flags, and how to finally break free. You don't want to miss it. Until then, take care of your heart, stay curious, and remember, you deserve love that feels safe, consistent, and real.